Welcome to the Deep Dive. This is where we take your sources, maybe articles, research, even personal notes, and, well, we dig in. We pull out the key insights, the surprising bits, and hopefully have a bit of fun along the way. Today, we're jumping into a really fascinating plant. It's often called cat's whiskers.
Which is a great name.
Isn't it? The more scientific name is Orthosiphon Aristatus.
And the material we're digging into today actually comes from a gardener's own notes. You know, their research after they found this pretty unique plant.
Exactly.
Ah.
So our mission here is to kind of unpack that odd name, see where this plant comes from, its global footprint, and maybe most interestingly, explore its dual identity. It's this traditional medicinal herb, but also something that looks great in a garden.
You might even want one yourself by the end.
You really might. So let's start where the gardener did. They basically just stumbled upon it at a nursery.
Right.
And were just captivated by the flowers, which are, well, peculiar is a good word. They really do look like, whiskers.
They absolutely do. And it's interesting how that simple visual translates across languages.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in Malaysia, it's misai kusing. Indonesia, kumis kusing. Both literally mean cat's whiskers.
Wow. Okay, so people everywhere saw the same thing.
Pretty much. It's a striking look.
So we've got the name, the look,
Yeah.
but the source mentions its family Lamiaceae. That's the mint family.
That's the one. Same family as mint, sage, basil, oregano. Loads of familiar herbs.
Okay, let's unpack this. What does that family connection imply? Does that tell us something important right away?
It really does. I mean, the Lamiaceae family is famous for plants that are aromatic, often quite hardy, and very often they have medicinal uses. Think about peppermint tea or, sage for sore throats in the past.
Right. Makes sense.
So being in that family kind of gives you a clue that cat's whiskers might have some interesting properties, and its history backs that up.
So where is it found traditionally?
Well, as a medicinal herb, it's mainly throughout southern China, the Indian subcontinent, a lot of Southeast Asia, and even down into tropical Queensland and Australia.
That's a huge area.
Yeah.
It suggests people in all those places independently figured out it was useful.
That's what's fascinating, isn't it? It suggests the plant really does have noticeable effects that different cultures observed and utilized long before, modern science or global communication.
Which brings us to the really interesting part, those medicinal uses. The source material, pulling from places like Wikipedia, lists a ton of applications. I was genuinely surprised.
It is quite a list. And what's really striking is how one plant connects to so many different health areas in traditional systems.
Okay, so give us some examples. What are we talking about?
Well, traditionally, it's strongly associated with kidney and urinary health. So things like increasing urine output, a diuretic effect, and protecting the kidney.
Okay, that sounds significant.
Yeah. And then there's lowering uric acid, which relates to gout. Also, reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. Those are kind of general protective effects.
Inflammation comes up a lot with herbs.
It does. And there's more liver protection, stomach protection, even lowering blood pressure.
Wow.
And potential benefits for diabetes, helping manage blood sugar, and hyperlipidemia, that's about high cholesterol or fats in the blood.
Goodness. It keeps going.
Just a couple more noted traditionally fighting microorganisms, so maybe some antimicrobial properties, and even fighting anorexia, which might relate to stimulating appetite, perhaps.
That list is comprehensive. It almost sounds too good to be true for one plant.
Well, that's the perspective of traditional herbalism, isn't it? Often seeing plants as having broad balancing effects rather than targeting one specific thing like a modern drug might.
Is there any specific use that's maybe more prominent or studied than others?
The diuretic and kidney-related uses are probably the most consistently cited historically, and the ones that have attracted a bit more modern research interest, especially regarding things like kidney stones in traditional contexts.
Right. It really highlights how much knowledge is embedded in those traditions.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it has this rich medicinal history. But let's shift gears back to the garden. Our source, the gardener, was drawn to it for landscaping too. So what does this all mean if you're thinking of adding it to your own green space? What's its appeal there?
Well, aesthetically, it's unique, as we said. But functionally, it's fantastic for attracting pollinators.
Okay, like bees.
Bees, butterflies, even hummingbirds are drawn to the nectar. So if you want to support local wildlife and pollination in your garden, it's highly recommended.
That's a big plus these days.
Definitely. And it's a perennial shrub.
Meaning it comes back year after year.
Exactly. You plant it once, and it should return, making it pretty easy to integrate into a garden bed or border. Less work for the gardener.
That sounds good. And we touched on the family Lamiaceae. The source mentions this, makes it safe.
Yes, that's another key benefit, especially for families. Plants in the mint family are generally considered safe for pets and children.
So, if a curious toddler or a dog nibbles a leaf, it's not usually a major concern.
Generally, no. Casual contact or minor ingestion isn't reported to cause serious issues. Of course, common sense applies. Eating large amounts of any plant isn't ideal
Sure.
and might cause mild stomach upset. But compared to many other ornamental plants, its safety profile, thanks to that Lamiaceae connection, is a really strong point for home gardens.
That's really reassuring. It sort of brings understanding plant families into focus for home safety, doesn't it?
It really does. Knowing a plant's family can give you useful clues.
So what a fascinating plant, Orthosiphon Aristatus. We've gone from that quirky name, cat's whiskers, explored its deep roots in traditional medicine across huge regions.
Yeah, that incredible list of uses.
And landed right back in the garden, finding it's this attractive, pollinator-friendly, perennial shrub that's also pretty safe for the whole family.
It really covers a lot of ground, doesn't it? A blend of history and practical appeal.
It certainly does.
And, thinking about all this leaves you with a question, maybe something to ponder. Well, given how much traditional knowledge clearly exists about plants like cat's whiskers, and we see this growing interest today in natural approaches, it makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Wonder what?
How many other plants, maybe ones we think of as ordinary, growing in our own backyards or sitting unnoticed in nurseries, might be holding similar secrets, just waiting for us to rediscover their full potential?